Hey folks, welcome to the Rusty Snake Ranch. Just got a new sound system for my 2012 Toyota Tacoma, and it's a 10-inch touchscreen Boss Elite. And I went ahead and bought it from a company called Crutchfield, and a company that's been around for a long time. And they went ahead and I've got the included backup camera that goes with it. I went ahead and bought some tools so I could take the dash apart. And then I've also got the new insert to surround the stereo and all the various pieces. But the main reason that I went with Crutchfield, and they're not a sponsor, they're welcome to sign us up. We'd love to. Mainly the reason we went with Crutchfield is because of their, what they call their ready harness. And what I mean by ready harness is it's already got our steering wheel adapter so that we can keep that in. And it's already got everything essentially wired into the module. So this part will plug into the vehicle. That'll let me keep my JBL amplifier and sound so I don't have to rewire any of those speakers, and plug it right into the back of the radio. And then you've got your antenna wire. All that stuff is like pre-done. And so it's just a lot easier for especially first time do-it-yourselfer like myself. So I've never installed a car stereo system that's got this many wires and is this technical. So this will make it a lot easier. And for an additional, essentially $25, they did all the wiring and crimping that you see there. And I'm telling you what, I don't think you can beat that, because that's a lot of work for 25 bucks. So anyway, we're gonna go through the process and start removing the current radio that's in the dash with these tools right here. And these tools cost me about, I think 12 bucks or so, plus probably post-tax. But anyway, we're gonna start tearing that dash apart, and then we're gonna go ahead and then start routing the rear backup camera, the new one. I had one, but I didn't buy the module for an extra 100 bucks to keep that one intact. I kind of like the one that they had better that would go to the 10-inch screen. So, because it's got backup lighting and whatnot. So mine wasn't the greatest, so there was no need to try to retrofit it. So we're gonna go with something different, new, and see how it looks. So we'll see you here in a few minutes. All right. So welcome back. So you can see what we have here is we have the 2012 Toyota Entune system. And it was a touchscreen, but my apps button doesn't work anymore. My setup button doesn't allow me to select Bluetooth anymore, or my phone, okay? Or I can't get into my apps to do my navigation. So this system had a 2-layer system. So there was one deck stacked on top of another deck, and the one that controls all the apps and the Bluetooth and the phone and the navigation essentially is dead, or the wires come loose on the back. I mean, one of those two things have happened. So what we're going to do is take apart the dash and get to this system so that we can go ahead and take it out and prepare it for our new radio. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And anybody that needs a partially half-working radio, make you a good deal on it. All right, so we're going to take our tools, our different pry tools that we got. And from everything I see is that we come from in and underneath of this area. Oh, there we go. All right, now I've got a couple wiring harnesses here on the back to remove. So let's see, we have little short wires. Okay, there's one. And they've got buttons on the side. There's two. So there's the controller. So I'm just gonna put this up and out of the way here. And then from what I understand, there's a few different bolts that are in and underneath here, 10 millimeter. So there's one. There's 2, and there's supposedly 4. So I think the others are further up in there. All right. So we're going to go ahead and remove those right now. So once we remove those, we'll come back to you. All right, so I've got those 4 bolts loose. I've got 2 that are still stuck up in there, but they don't seem to come out. So I'm going to try to see if we can pull them out with this. Kind of loosen them up. There they go. They dropped out. All right. Well, it feels like it's stuck from the top here, so I'm going to try my pry tool. There we go. I'm telling you what, those are worth the 12 bucks. All right, so we got our radio. Let's see here. First thing I'm going to do is look for any loose connections on it, since she stopped working. Yeah, I don't feel anything that's loose. I'm going to go ahead then and just kind of wiggled some of those around, so I'm going to turn it back on real quick. Let her fire back up. I'm just checking because, you know, if it's just a loose wire. Oh, system not installed. Well, that's a new one. Okay, I still don't seem to be getting any response from that radio. And that's the Hartman Automotive extension box that's underneath that runs all that. So, like I said, I'm just going to check for some nope, still don't work. So we're going to go ahead and remove those. Take those wires off. It's time to go to the new system now at this point. So let's go ahead and just turn off the power, and then we're going to start pulling different wires off this. And that's what's nice about buying that wiring harness is everything should link up to the new system. Trying to find all the push buttons. Each one of these will have its own push button, so that they can come off. Okay, I need a little bit more slack on that wire. Okay, this one is here, hold that radio for me. Don't pull on it, please. Okay, I got one more. Okay, we've got this back part here. So it looks like it has a spring clip there. I need you to hold on to the radio, please, from underneath. Don't let that stress that wire. Let's see if I can find these little spring clamps that are just holding this piece of plastic in. It looks like I see a few screws, so please hold on to that. I can't do both. Thank you. That's what happens when you do things for the first time. You get a lot of experience, whether you like it or not. And this radio is not light. Okay, so I finally got this part out, and you can see it's got little clips that drop into the plastic on the top and bottom, and it's kind of a real big pain in the neck to get out, but there's your clock and your hazard lights. So we'll just set that aside to reinstall later with our new brackets. Taken out of the truck for the old radio system, and I do have a backup camera that's right here, but it's not going to allow us to use it without spending an extra $100. So I went ahead and just got their backup camera because mine's not the greatest anyway. Doesn't have the lines or anything like that. I kind of wanted that. So we're going to take off the license plate here. And when we take off the license plate, we'll put on the new one. First thing I'm going to be looking for is a way to feed these wires down and under. Just seeing what's here, what's available. And let's see here. Oh, there's a hole right here. Look at that. So that would be the perfect place to feed that, but I've got a few extra rocks, it looks like. So I think what I'll do is I'll get these rocks out real quick, and then I'll go ahead and feed the wires through here and then rebolt that up and start running the wires underneath. All right, well, here's the rear backup camera, and that's the license plate bracket. And you'll see that it has a red wire and then a thing that's going to hook into the input down here. And then down here you've got a red collared wire. That's going to be for the power. And then this one right here, they're going to plug in. They're going to plug in like that when we're ready. And then this red wire will then connect to another adapter that'll plug into this one right here. And then we'll have a black ground wire that goes to the frame. So that's what we're looking to install right now. And in order to, hang on to that bracket for me, thank you. Okay. In order to get that down and to the thing, we've got to drill a hole. And you can see where I've got my hole started right here. And I went ahead and went inside and grabbed me what's called a step bit. And with that step bit, we're going to go ahead and finish drilling the hole. And then we're going to slide this piece of tubing through it. And this piece of tubing, I'll be able to fill it with caulk on this end. And I've cut it so that we can kind of like make it feed down and through. And then I'll also fill it from the other end as it goes through with caulk. And this will keep the wire from chafing. Okay. And the reason I'm using a tube that's this big, it's really thick walled if you can see, is so that my RCA jack could fit down through it without having to make any other modifications. So we'll come back in a bit and we'll show you the progress that we've made. Okay, so we've gone ahead and we've got the backup camera threaded through that hole, and we had to go grab us some new screws that were a little thicker. And I decided to take my bracket and stick it in and behind. That way it'd be less noticeable. So I'm gonna let them hold that. I'm gonna take that back. All right, so before I go any further, I want to test and start putting some of this wiring harness together. I want to make sure things work before I start to, you know, put everything in place and whatnot. So just gonna go through these and start putting them in. The good news, every time you put one together, there's one less to put in. But it's got quite the group. All right. So we're going to input the rear camera, input the new microphone, which we installed right there. And we ran the wires behind the molding, under the dash, had those 2 wires come out for the microphone and for the rear camera. Just plugged in this so I can reroute my Apple CarPlay back to the auxiliary that was already there. And so we're at the point now where we're going to start to basically tuck in wires. So just keep it focused on the wires here. Going to make sure we got the Apple CarPlay Android. Plug that in. Now we're going to plug in the, got to be careful because we've got a short power cord. We're going to plug in the camera. Plug in the microphone. There she is. Okay. So that's all coming out right there. And I'm going to throw a zip tie on this real quick just to keep those 2 things together, the microphone and the rear camera, so they're out of my way. Okay, got that all there. Got my interface box. We got our antenna. Wow, what a lot of wires. Okay, got that plugged in. Let's see, now we're going to plug in our radio again. All right. I'm going to just start to basically see if we can make room up in here. Okay. All right. I've got those 10mm screws going back in. Okay, I'm gonna have to give me a flashlight to see where those are going. Okay, I see the screw hole. There we go. Get those tightened up here in a minute. All right. So we've got, you can see we've got our tray here, our plug-in. All right, so we had to go back in. We had to grab the thing that went to the clock and all of that crazy madness. So we've gotten that now pulled through. These are the things that go to the temperature controls. Hopefully this will hook up once we install. So we're going to go ahead and first hook up our oh, nice. There we go. That's nice and clipped in. Looks pretty good. We got a tray right here. We could actually probably put our cell phone there when when we like, if we got a little longer cord. Okay, gonna get our climate control back in. Get her guided back. Oh, that's good. All right. So let's see, we got a clock. Yep. Clock, airbags on, passenger seat belt. Yep. Okay. We've got a hazard light, so that's all good. All right. Now we're going to grab our boss unit, and we're going to slide her into the controller. All right. Let's turn her on. There, she's firing up. I'm going to close the door so we can get rid of the beeping. Go ahead and turn on the air, and it's 100 degrees here. Okay. So, see if it scans. Yeah, looks like it scans.
I perish with hunger.
Okay.
I will rise and go to my father, and I will
Let's
say,
see if
Congress increases in stock.
okay, looks like the radio's working pretty good. Let's try AM. We got thunderstorms in the area, so we got crackling a little bit. Yeah, looks like it's finding stations all right. Okay.
Wyoming might see a couple of gusty showers and thunderstorms late Sunday, but
Let's try the backup camera. Looks like we have backup camera. There's some of the Rusty Ranch. Okay. All right. And let's see if we'll find our device here. Let's see. How do I do this? Bluetooth. Auto connect. So we're already set up for that. So yeah, it looks like everything's working pretty good here. I can try my Apple CarPlay, but as soon as I plug that in, I have to disconnect my video from you guys. So anyway, that right there is the Boss Elite 10-inch screen. Looks pretty good. You're able to swivel it like your rear view mirror, so you can get it tilted out of the sun or tilted towards the driver, you know, so that's kind of nice. And it also slides up and down, so you can raise it up, get to that tray underneath. I might want it not to take up some of my windshield, but that's pretty nice. So I think that we'll like that. Let's see, it says it works hands-free, so you could make a phone call once you're connected to your Bluetooth or through your Apple CarPlay. So anyway, like I said, I recommend, if you do go through Crutchfield, pay the extra 25 bucks, buy the Ready harness. Made it a lot easier for me just to plug things in and not have to sit there and hope I got the right wire. Plus it allowed us, with that converter box that we stuck in there, that everything was wired into like an octopus, it allowed us to keep our JBL sound system, which is what this car has, which is kind of important to me. And plus it saved me from rewiring 6 speakers plus a subwoofer. So anyway, thanks again for joining us on the Rusty Snake Ranch, and please like and subscribe. We really are just kind of new at this YouTube thing, and we'd love for you to like and subscribe so we can show you the kind of things we do here out on the Rusty Snake Ranch. Thanks a lot. Hats off to you.